Hi, you clicked on this video because you want some support. So, the first thing that I'm going to do is tell you how much of a good job you're doing, that you have a place here, that you're worthy of care, of support, of your physiological needs being met. You are worth all of that and more. So, hi, I'm in burnout as well. So, today I do feel ashamed. I feel ashamed of my hair right now. You can't smell me, but I'm a little bit stinky, and I wanted to take a shower, and I didn't. Um, but I'm talking about removing shame today and gathering community, and those two things go hand in hand. So, with me, if you could, I would like if we could take a deep breath in and imagine that every single particle of shame that was in us, maybe like a sticky dusty feeling, that we can take a deep breath in and gather it all up, and then breathe it all out together. That's going to be a really good start, at least. Imagining these particles of shame, breathing them in and gathering them up. Now they're coming out. Every pore of my body, all the way around me, every part of me is releasing shame. Okay. Why did I start with shame when we're talking about gathering community? Because a lot of times, the reason we don't have community support is because someone shamed us into not having any. So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about shame, and then we're going to talk about gathering support, and then we're going to talk about shame again. Because the biggest part of community action is removing self shame or programmed shame. We're going to talk about the difference in those things too. But the first thing that I want to talk about is how shame has three parts. There is terror, pain, and disgust. So, a lot of the times when we're feeling shame, specifically self shame over asking for help in burnout or wherever you are at and why you need support right now, that shame could be covering up one of those three emotions or all three of those emotions. And I'll tell you a little bit more about them. So, terror, the fear of social rejection or abandonment. That is a survival mechanism that is inside of you, that when you feel like you're doing something that will cause social abandonment, that it will cause terror and shame in you. That is not your fault. That is very normal survival mechanism in your brain. Shame also covers up pain. The idea that your actions or your words made somebody else hurt, or guilt, the pain of guilt. That is also shame. And then the third thing is disgust. We feel like we violated our own values, and that causes us shame. So, how could asking for support cause any of those things? Right? We should know as humans, it's normal and perfectly natural to need to ask for help and need interdependence and need community. But if you were trained that you needed to be independent or you will die, the idea of asking for help means that you're at life or death. And that is terrifying. So, we're going to take a little bit of that terror away, because asking for support is a really, really healthy tool that we have for a community building emotional structure called interdependence. It means that you can ask for help and somebody can ask you for help, and they can say no and you can say no. But asking should not cause social abandonment. If it did, if that terror is there, that means it has. And I'm really sorry that happened to you. I'm so sorry that happened to you. You shouldn't have to feel the terror of being abandoned for the simple action of asking for help. Pain. Maybe when you asked for help, somebody told you that it hurt them. That's happened to me a lot in my disabilities. that telling my story of how much I hurt causes other people to feel pain because they're so empathetic, but it also means that, that sometimes they don't wanna talk to me because my just the idea of thinking about what my life is like causes them so much pain, and sometimes I feel guilty for talking about my story in the ways that I need help because I feel guilty and shameful that my life story could cause somebody so much pain that they couldn't even stay in contact with me. That's not my fault. That is their shame and pain that is being projected onto me, and I did not hurt them by talking about my story. Most likely, someone else hurt them, and that reminded of them of their story. So that pain, that guilt, that asking for help is harming other people, we can let that one go too. That one's really and, disgust of asking for help. We can feel like we violated our values. I'm never asking for help with money. I would rather die than ask for help with money. That statement has killed people. It could kill you too. I would rather die than ask for help. Oh, no. Honey, please. Please ask me for help. You shouldn't have to die before asking for help. That's why I wanted to address shame before talking about gathering support. Because how could you even begin to ask if you were trained that you should be feeling terror, pain, or disgust even at the thought of asking for help? So at least you know that, and now when you go in to ask for support, you know that when those emotions come up, that you don't have to hold on to them, that that shame is likely a projection onto you, or it's something that you were taught that in yourself, some self-shame that you don't have to hold on to. Um, with that, the self-shame versus the taught shame or programmed shame. This one hurts. It hurts to say it out loud. Don't expect the people who taught you that you don't deserve support to then actually support you when you need it. Ah, this isn't because of you, obviously. Their own they've never done this process of undoing the blame and shame inside of them. So they transfer it instead of deal with it. Teach you that you should be like them actually, because they had to do it, so should you. They had to do it alone. You shouldn't get to ask for help. Um, or there's some self-shame in maybe you have asked for help. Maybe it wasn't people who taught you, like your parents or your extended family or your guardian. Maybe it was somebody outside of you. Maybe it was at work. Maybe it was a friend. And you got rejected so badly that it caused physical pain. Listen, y'all, I'm a disabled person who learns stuff and then transfers it. I'm gonna have to double check this one. All I know is that emotional pain and physical pain can come from the same place and they can feel the same to the person who's experiencing them. And when something is painful, it makes it harder to do. So when we have shame, we have terror, pain, disgust every time we ask for help, it makes it harder to do until you keep doing it. That self-shame and the program shame, it goes away every time you ask for help and somebody responds with with support. Because there are people who are out there who can support you. This world is so huge and we're taught that it's so small, but there's so many people, there's so many communities. There is enough for you. There's enough abundance, there's enough love for you. Maybe you were taught that nobody else in this world will ever love you as much as your family. And then your family didn't care if these things happened. Well, I can tell you that there is a love out there that is better than that. That would feed you and give you a home and love you just because your story matters and who you are as a person matters and you have value outside of your production. There are so many communities like that, especially in the disabled communities. Most disabled people will not be able to offer you financial support, but maybe you don't need financial support. Maybe you're in emotional burnout right now and you don't know how to feel anymore. And you don't know how to get help. You tried therapy, but that didn't really help. It was okay. You know now what to do, but you don't have a family or friend group or the people required to heal in tandem. So you share your story, you share yourself, you share what you have. Maybe it's not a lot because you don't have energy, maybe you're in full burnout. But the way that we get out of burnout is together. So finding communities that are used to this, like disabled communities, where you can give something like your finances and they can give something like emotional support because a lot of us are at home. And so maybe that's something that we already do is give emotional support to each other. Every morning after I do my food and hygiene, I take 10 to 20 minutes to text everybody in my social web back if I can. It's not every day, but it's something that I do to upkeep the emotional support of my web, even in burnout, even if it's an emoji. So, all of this to say, in gathering support, it's not just in asking for help outside of you. It's also gathering the support from yourself by saying, I don't need to experience this shame that was put on to me by other people. I don't need to ask the people who have already said no to support to me and who cannot support themselves. I can ask other people. And there are communities in which what I can offer will be not only accepted, but extremely valued with whatever you can offer at the moment. And that your value is enough. Your value right now is enough. I feel my self shame rising right now. I don't know if you do. Maybe maybe we're picking up on something together. Mm. I'm feeling shame. I'm feeling the idea that I don't have anything to offer the group. That's like the terror of social abandonment. I'm feeling a disgust feeling like I shouldn't have to ask for money. They feel very sticky and dusty and heavy. So I would really like to release those things now, whether they were from me or from you. I hope that we can breathe together because you don't deserve to feel that. You deserve to feel like you're in reciprocity with community, that what you have to offer matters. So I'm going to breathe that out really quick before I talk about um, how to gather support when you don't have any, like from family. So, but first, I just really need to get rid of this feeling. So, if again with me, if you will breathe in all of those particles of whatever this, I tasted like in my mouth, like it's just gross. And then breathe them out with me. They're so uncomfortable standing here in our body. Okay. Scanning my body, breathing in Releasing shame from every cell out in every direction from my body. I'm going to do it again. Breathing in the terror of not being believed and being abandoned. And releasing it. Trusting in the support of a community. Breathing in the disgust that we shouldn't have to do this. Breathing it out that it is okay that we are doing this. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit better. That is something that you can take with you to do when you feel shame, especially before you ask for something. So today I'm going to tell you about the ways in which I need support to show you how to do it. I'm afraid because this goes against my programming as well. So, I was served divorce papers on Monday, and I'm a disabled person. I just was bedridden for 3.5 years from complications from my genetic condition, from CPTSD/PTSD, depending on which manual you're using, um, endometriosis in 17 places around my abdomen, adenomyosis, and just symptoms after symptoms after symptoms. And I became bedridden only 6 weeks after we got married. So my husband, my ex-husband, he he took care of me, and we didn't have a big community, but we slowly grew one, a small one, and I was able to get treatment for endometriosis in July of 2023 after getting help from the internet. I didn't have help to do it from my family, but I did have help from the internet because I asked, and people said yes to me. That saved my life for the first time because I was able to remove that endometriosis from all over my abdomen. We had to move for his work, and so for parts of it, I was completely alone. Um, I had symptoms where I was going blind. I was crawling to the bathroom. I was crawling to the front door so I could get delivery once a day. Um, I've been struggling for a really, really long time. And then in January, I finally got the treatment that I had needed since I was 15 years old. And the second I woke up from surgery, it felt better. And my spouse left 4 days after surgery for work. And so my recovery, finally recovering a little bit, was mostly alone and with my disabled community that I built here now. But when he got back, he I'll read you what we came up with in therapy together. I'm feeling so much shame right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend that I know how to do this either. My ex-husband, can't take care of my disabilities emotionally or physically because of the effects of caring for my disabilities on his mental health. We care about each other because we are people with a history of love and respect. However, this is now an urgent situation for me and I need urgent help. I don't have the family support. My friends are mostly disabled. I still can't get a job. This is what I can do from bed. This is my offering. And I've been trying to get on disability for years. So, today I'm asking that you go in my description and you click on the link to my membership tiers from my Ko-fi, and you go and you either just read what it says on the tier, because that could give you an idea of how to ask for support. Or if 100 of you join that tier, That'll be getting the disability payment that the government isn't giving me. And if 1,000 of you join that tier, then you can not only house me and my 2 cats, but my 2 disabled roommates, and I would be able to continue to give to my friend Mem, who is also facing being unhoused, to Omar, my friend in Gaza, who is starving, and to all the other people who I've sponsored on this channel. When you ask for support, if you feel like there's too much shame to only ask for support for you, you're allowed to make sure that your survival is connected to the survival of your social web as well. Every time I ask for help for myself, I have to ask for help from my friends because I care about them too much. And me succeeding means they succeed too. So, if you want to support me, if you want to support my friends because you're able to, there's links in the description. And if you can't because you're in financial burnout, like a lot of us, then you can click on it just to see how you can ask for support. Okay. That was me sharing my story and myself in reciprocity for your support. That doesn't mean you're obligated to do anything. I don't need you to do something that you can't do. Because I don't want that. I don't want my survival to come at the cost of yours. I want our survival to happen together. So, in gathering support, I hope that you're able to breathe out every amount of shame that what you look like, what you're able to do, where you come from, what you sound like, any of those additional factors that have been told to you that meant you should not deserve support or life. I hope you're able to let those go and understand that who you are, what you've been through, all of that is valuable. And sharing it is valuable, no matter how hard and scary it is to do so. Because it is scary. But it's worth it. I didn't like saying that. So, I'm going to do some more breathing together because that's what I know how to do. And if this is your first video, then we have a lot of other burnout resources on this channel. Man, you guys. Today's video is just going to be so emotional. I suppose that's okay. If you're still here, it meant that you needed it too, and you needed to know that it's okay to be emotional when you ask for help because it's really hard. And it is emotional because there's a lot tied to our survival. Places that you can ask for help: Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, all the social medias. You already know that. Where's other places you can ask for help? Around your neighborhood. Scary. You can get to know your neighbors. I have. There's something that you can offer. You can go to the library consistently, meet the librarians, meet the regulars. There's not a lot of third places in the United States, but in the world right now, like places where you can go that are free. So the places that you can go that are free right now, I recommend that you utilize them. If there's any book clubs, if you're religious, if you go to religious groups, and a lot of them are online as well. So I invite you to be creative because you're in burnout. You don't have energy. You don't have energy to do more. I don't want you to do more. I want you to lower your standards of what asking for help means and get yourself into places with more support than you're currently in. Or you can gather the support that you already have. Every person who's ever said, "Hey, I would love to support you. Please let me know how." Make a specific list, wherever you're posting it, make a specific list of supports, and then you can send that to people too. Sometimes people just don't support because it's not specific enough. They don't understand what to do. And so dropping the access point, the barrier to access in supporting you will help you get support as well. Okay, that is all for today. Thanks for being here. Love you. Bye.